Good evening, afternoon or morning. Movie Cat is at the microphone. Today I will tell you about a film that asks the question, what every woman needs to be happy. For your attention, the comedy made in 1999. Deuce Bigalow, male gigolo.
Hi, I'm Deuce Bigalow.
Hi, I'm Carol.
Deuce Bigalow works as a cleaner for the city aquarium. One day, thinking that there are no visitors today, he dives into the aquarium naked. And this is how the children who came on the tour see him. Deuce tries to explain that swimming trunks contain substances harmful to fish, but the management fires him and the guards kicks him out. To cheer himself up a little, Deuce goes to a pet store where a girl he likes works. He invites her to go to dinner together, but she flatly refuses it. Deuce then reads down an advertisement from the wall, where an experienced specialist is required to clean the pond with Japanese predatory carps. Deuce goes to the address from the advertisement and arrives in a rich area, where he sees a tall man in an expensive car, and next to him is a beautiful girl. The man's name is Antoine. He is the very man who needs a pond cleaner. When Deuce is cleaning the pond, he is suddenly attacked by a huge carp, and in an attempt to escape, Deuce falls and hits his elbow hard on the ground. Deuce asks if Antoine has ice to put on his bruise. Antoine invites Deuce into the house, but demands that he must put off the shoes when steps onto an 18th century Persian carpet. In Antoine's house, Deuce sees a collection of medieval weapons. Antoine says that such a weapon costs twice as much if it is known for certain that someone was killed with it. Deuce also notices a huge aquarium with expensive fish in the house. Deuce is very impressed because Antoine is living such a life that he himself dreams of. Suddenly, Antoine's answering machine receives a message from a woman who offers to meet urgently in Europe. She promises to pay the standard amount of $3,500. When Deuce asks for what services a woman can pay such a huge amount of money, Antoine admits that he is a gigolo, a man on a call, and his job is to give pleasure to women for money. Deuce returns to his home. He lives in a small apartment in a bad neighborhood. Deuce loves fish and has a small aquarium. He pours mineral water to the fish, but he drinks the cloudy liquid from the tap. The next day, Antoine calls Deuce and says that something is wrong with his most expensive fish. Deuce arrives, carefully examines and makes a diagnosis. The fish is bloated. It now needs to be fed regularly and constantly looked after. However, Antoine urgently needs to fly to Europe, and he invites Deuce to live in his house and look after the fish. The house is at the disposal of Deuce, including cable TV and a full bar. Before leaving, Antoine forbids only two things: to drive his car and answer the phone. Deuce is left alone. He boils the sheet first, then puts on the gravity boots and decides to hang upside down on a horizontal bar, just like Antoine did. Suddenly, the toaster catches fire and several packs of cookies next to it too. However, Deuce did not calculate his strength and, hanging, cannot reach the horizontal bar to get off. Deuce sways and grabs the aquarium, which slips, falls to the floor and shatters. In a panic, Deuce puts out the fire, then quickly collects all the fish and puts them in various containers of water. The seller asks for a new aquarium $6,000 and refuses to sell it in installments. Deuce promises to think. He tries to clean the house and falls asleep. Suddenly the phone rings and Deuce accidentally picks up the phone. At the other end, a woman says that she received Antoine's number from her friend and, thinking that she is talking to Antoine, asks him to come. Deuce doubts, but when a woman clarifies that she is already naked, he gets into Antoine's car and quickly drives to the indicated address. A woman has a jealous dog and Deuce has to quickly run away. She gives him some banknote without looking. In the car, Deuce finds out that it's $10, which makes him happy. He goes to a bar determined to sell himself to another woman for another $10. There he meets a girl named Claire and brings her to Antoine's house. However, when he asks her to pay $10, she demands $500 in return. After all, she is a prostitute and thought that Deuce was a client. When Deuce refuses to pay, Claire hits him several times. Suddenly, she notices a photo of Antoine and asks how Deuce knows him. He explains that this is Antoine's house and he is just looking after his fish. Claire is frightened. She asks not to tell Antoine that she walked on the carpet with shoes on. In the morning, Deuce is trying to glue the broken dishes. Suddenly a guy comes and says that his name is TJ. Claire told him that Antoine had a terrible mess at home. TJ is a pimp and he offers Deuce to earn money with his body to clean up and repair Antoine's house. TJ explains that Antoine has a very tough personality and will simply kill Deuce if house is left in such condition. At the same time, Deuce will not have time to earn the required amount by cleaning aquariums on time. Deuce agrees and TJ takes him first to a hairdresser, then to a depilation, and at the end dresses him in an expensive suit. TJ brings Deuce to the first client. She weighs 250 kilograms. Frightened, Deuce says he's gay and she called the wrong escort. However, since TJ has already taken a deposit from the woman, Deuce offers to play a board game about pies. A woman constantly wins and from this comes to complete delight. In the morning, TJ is happy because until yesterday evening no one could satisfy this plump woman. Deuce's second girlfriend turns out to be incredibly tall. She pounces on Deuce and rips off his clothes in one motion. Deuce offers to start with a foot massage and unexpectedly it brings her very strong pleasure. After all, before that, no one had ever touched her big feet. In the morning, Deuce leaves the tall girl's house. Suddenly, police detective Fowler grabs him on the doorstep. He claims to know perfectly well what Deuce is doing. The detective not only considers male prostitution illegal, but it offends him personally. Suddenly, right on the street, the detective shows his penis to Deuce and asks if he can make money with it. The detective demands that Deuce find Antoine's black book in the house, where he writes down all his clients. The third girl, to whom Deuce was directed by TJ, suffers from sudden foul language syndrome. She just suddenly begins to scold the people around her with the last words, even if they are old people or children. Deuce takes the girl to a baseball game, where her syndrome looks very appropriate. TJ is pleased with Deuce and promises that the next girl is a real exclusive. Deuce, understanding by what principles TJ selects clients for him, is sure that something will be wrong with her. But TJ claims that she is a young attractive girl who just graduated from college, and her friends ordered her a gigolo, and she was told that this is a newspaper date. Kate is a very attractive and charming girl. At the sushi bar, she sees that Deuce is not pleased to see how the chef is about to fry the fish alive. Then Kate buys a fish and during a walk along the riverfront, she and Deuce release it into the river. In the morning, TJ reminds Deuce of Gigolo's first rule: don't fall in love with clients. In the evening, Deuce takes Kate to a restaurant and then the girl invites him to her home. In bed, Kate tries to warn him that her body has a flaw, but Deuce doesn't listen to her. Suddenly, Kate's leg, or rather her prosthesis, is in his hands. Deuce is scared for only a few seconds, and then he reassures Kate, because for him this is not a problem. In the morning, Deuce is again grabbed by the detective and is demanded the black book of Antoine's clients. Deuce promises to look for it, and then he goes to Kate's friends to return the money they paid and tell that he has serious feelings for Kate. Afterwards, he tells TJ that he can no longer prostitute. The next day, Kate breaks up with Deuce because her friends told her the truth about how he met her. Deuce misses Kate and also works a lot as an aquarium cleaner to meet the deadline. After all, Antoine arrives in a few days and Deuce lacks as much as $1,500. Suddenly, a girl named Elaine calls, hoping to order Antoine. Deuce picks up the phone and offers himself instead of Antoine. Arriving at Elaine's apartment, Deuce realizes that he can't have sex with her. He honestly tells her that he is in love with another girl. Elaine understands him and regretfully admits that her husband was also in love with her many years ago. However, if she paid, then Deuce should at least entertain her with a striptease. While dancing, Deuce suddenly notices a photo of Elaine with Detective Fowler, who constantly threatens Deuce. Now he understands that the detective is hunting Antoine because his wife is one of the clients of this gigolo. When Deuce leaves Elaine's apartment, Kate is waiting for him in the hallway. She has followed Deuce to see with her own eyes that he is a gigolo. Kate walks away in tears. In the morning, Deuce is found by Detective Fowler. Policeman threatens to put Deuce and Antoine into a prison for sleeping with his wife. Deuce, in response, asks if this will save the family relationship between the detective and his wife. Fowler admits that he has a thin penis and because of this he has a complex. Then Deuce says he knows from his own experience that women also have a lot of complexes about their large weight, long height or involuntary swearing. Deuce suggests that every time Fowler worries about his thin penis, he should compliment his wife. After all, Deuce believes that if a woman feels loved and desired next to a man, she will not care about the size or thickness of his penis. Deuce also adds that Elaine likes very much a male striptease. These tips return passion to the followers, and the detective, in gratitude, promises not to arrest Deuce for prostitution, but Fowler's superiors demand someone to arrest in this case, and the detective asks to hand over TJ. Deuce refuses because he considers TJ his friend and therefore he finds himself in the court blamed in prostitution. However, a disguised TJ arrives in the court and brings in all of Deuce's former clients. All of them unanimously declare that they did not have sex with Deuce, but only talked, walked and did other things permitted by law. Deuce helped them all come to terms with their shortcomings and begin to live life to the fullest. The judge does not see the corpus delicti and closes the case. Detective Fowler is very happy about this on the back bench. Meanwhile, Kate, who works as a nurse at a hair transplant clinic, processes another patient's donor area. When a patient turns, Kate sees Deuce. He came to say that he was not a gigolo, but an aquarium cleaner, and he took up prostitution because of an urgent need. However, he does not regret anything, because otherwise he would not have met Kate. Antoine's plane lands the next morning. Deuce bought a new aquarium. His former clients plus Kate, TJ and detective help him clean the house. Meanwhile, a very tall girl who works for airport security gives Antoine a full body search to buy Deuce some time. When Antoine enters the house, the helpers hide in the closets. At first glance, everything is okay. Antoine, under the influence of an old habit, knocks on the aquarium's wall, attracting the fish attention. Suddenly, the glass breaks and all aquarium's contents are on the floor. Antoine attacks Deuce in anger with an axe, but Kate throws a prosthesis to her boyfriend for protection. Then Antoine shoots from a crossbow, but a plump woman covers Deuce with her chest. The arrow hits her in a piece of chicken, which she hid in her bra. Afterwards, Detective Fowler arrests Antoine. Thank you for watching. Write in the comments how do you feel about the gigolo profession. Hit your thumb up and don't forget to subscribe.